I talked in detail about this dog Murphy that I was working with, the German Shepherd that was just really jazzed up, if you will.
Yeah.
Right? Like, again, fairly compliant, no big issues from like an obedience standpoint or anything like that. But he was really struggling with arousal issues. And I think I talked about that a couple of weeks ago on the podcast. And I just wanted to kind of give everybody an update because I've seen him now twice since that lesson, or since we talked about it on the podcast, last one being yesterday. And he is crushing it. And really, it wasn't so much that we had to do anything different with him as much as we had to recalibrate his owner's mind a little bit, right? She was just too focused on the arousal on the walk. And again, it was just, he was walking fine with her. He was, right? He would hold it down and stay when she asked her to. There was no problem. He was being compliant to her. He was just so amped up, right? So we really did a lot of work with her of going over, doing more off-leash stuff with him, right? And letting him run and play and get his wiggles and stuff out of his system and just prioritizing that stuff and making the walk and the obedience just like that's the necessity to get to the things that we needed to do with him, right? She was really looking at like she wanted to take him for more walks to burn off the energy, right? As opposed to we take him for walks to go places to burn off the energy. Do you get what I'm saying? Right? Yeah. So instead of the walks being the exercise, because this was not an adequate form of exercise for him, the walks are the necessity to get to the places where we could then allow him to burn off the energy. And since we kind of recalibrated that, and instead of her, because she would usually have 30 minutes to go out and take him for a walk or whatever. And she would do it usually twice a day, which is good. Listen, I mean, like an hour a day of being able to give your dog exercise is better than what most people are doing, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So she would start looking at it from that standpoint. She found a field around the corner from her house, right? She walks him to the field, and then she lets him run around, right? And she takes the ball, and she'll go and like play ball with him and things like that. And she reported back, yesterday was the first time she came in. She said, we had a really good week. We had a really good week. We prioritized that kind of stuff with him.
Yeah.
He's happier. We're less stressed out. We're less like on edge, around him and stuff. And the on edgeness is just like when you're right next to a dog that's just really fucking wound up all the time. It's like you get really wound up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did that, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just nice. Like, the lesson we did yesterday, like, we were working on, there's other things we were working on, too. Like, he was being a little bit, like, skittish at the vet. So we worked some, like, handling things at the beginning of the session, obviously. But after that, took him for a walk, took him to the park around the corner from the shop. And, we got there, and he walked fine. A little bit antsy, a little bit wound up and stuff, but he walked fine. We got to the park, and we just, this big field, took him off leash. And as soon as we took him off leash, again, it's like beautiful from the standpoint of like, he's just so happy, right?
Yeah.
He's just running around, having a good time. And listen, like this field that I'm talking about is like, there's a community center, there's a elementary school, there's a playground, there's a baseball diamond, there's a big open field, right? And like, school was getting let out like right around that time, so like kids are coming out, like it was really busy, people riding their bikes, stuff like that. And this dog is just off leash, just enjoying himself. And it's like I was pointing out to her like a couple of different things. One, like getting back to this is not an obedience problem. Your dog is fully off leash right now, and there's every type of distraction around us right now, and he could care less about those distractions. Like, distractions aren't a problem. Obedience isn't a problem with him. But he's burning off his energy. And he was having a good time. And then, after we got, we let him just tear around and hang out and stuff, and he started kind of settling down. We worked a little bit of obedience with him, right? Engaged the mental stimulus a little bit, and we kind of almost started working on some more like competitive-y style stuff with him, like working on a little bit more of like a formal, like focused heel position and stuff. And it was, it was great. And then we walked back. And again, the walk back was just 100 times better than the walk there. Not that the way there was bad by any means, but he was just so much better because you could tell he got the outlet, right? Yeah. He got the stimulus out. So
exactly.
I'm just showing her how to structure her exercise with him in a way where she's not fighting him so much, she's working with him,
Yeah.
And it was just cool. I like that a lot. And it tied into another lesson I ironically did. Did we talk about one of these last ones, Jake, at all?
I don't think
We
so.
did the off leash hiking with. Did we talk about that? I don't remember.
I
We'll go
think
over it
maybe
briefly.
faintly.
So it ties into another lesson that I'm working with right now.
Yeah.
Similar situation, very highly obedience trained dog, but just a ball of energy, like an absolute nonstop ball of energy, right?
Yeah.
And same deal. She takes him for walks through her neighborhood. She lives in Lakewood. It's like a city environment, right? And this dog he wants to fucking go, And
Yeah.
like he walks with her and he holds it, but you can tell it's so fucking hard for him
Yeah.
to stay with her the whole time. And it's stressful. Like she doesn't enjoy taking him for walks, not because he's pulling her, not because he's not listening to her or anything, but the whole time she's walking this dog, he's sitting there,
Yeah.
like
feel it.
vibrating. And it's again, like that energy, like when that's right next to you and you're trying to go for like a leisurely walk, like it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
so annoying, right? But again, he's not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
He's just full of energy, right?
Right.
So I told her, I was like, our next lesson, I was like, let's meet up. There's this hiking trail that I go on with my dogs. It's a bridle trail that there's never anybody on, right? So I said, let's meet up there, So we went there and we freaking, hold on.
Oh, you got some videos?
Yeah.
Got some proof of the pudding, huh?
Let me find it. Yeah, like, look at these two, right? She got two dogs, just off leash, hanging out, doing their thing,
Oh, yeah.
hanging out, whatever. So,
Looking great.
and we were on this walk, and we did like, I think we were out there for like an hour and a half or something. It was my last lesson of the day. Like, I'm having a good time. I get to be out in nature, hang out, go for a nice hike in the woods, right? And these dogs, I remember she said something like halfway through the lesson. She was like, this is incredible, And she didn't even mean like she didn't believe he could do it. Like, she knew he was trained, right? Yeah. But she's like, they're so happy right now. They're just so happy, like, and I'm so relaxed right now because I see that they're happy, and like all the stress she usually sees with him of just like, like out on the walk and stuff like that. There's none of it. He's just having a good time,
Yeah.
and she's like, she said the same thing. She said, I need to start prioritizing this more. Like she said that, and I was just like, yes, prioritize this more, right? Work with the dog, not against the dog.
Yeah.
Right? Figure out ways to really, truly satisfy your dog's needs.